Hello. The Alleluia chorus, potentially anachronistic in this particular concert, resounds. We have started the streaming, so that's really exciting, and you've all managed to get another drink in, so that's just fabulous. I'm Rhiannon Llewellyn. I'm the Director of Music here. Woohoo! As of today, thank you, team. Boo, some might say. I met Emily and indeed Helena at Dartington this summer, Dartington International Summer School, for those that don't know it, and I was totally struck by not only their wonderful playing, but just you're so warm and engaging, and just, yeah, the music as much, the pub time as much as the music is important at Dartington. So really, really excited that they've come and played to us today. As always, all your donations go to the performers throughout the series of concerts. So please give generously, and at the end, they also have CDs you can purchase at the back for a minimum donation of £10, but preferably for 15. But anyway, so thank you so much for coming along. And with no further ado, there's been so much ado, can we please welcome Emily White and Sackbut Frenzy? Woo!
Thank you very much for coming, everybody. We're really enjoying being part of this warm and welcoming Church of St. Margaret's. It was a real treat to be here on the day that Rhiannon was announced as the new Director of Music. I know this venue is going to be extremely important in the years ahead. We are Sackbut Frenzy, and we began in 2011 when thieves stole the lead from the church where I was singing in the choir. And we needed to quickly find the money for the insurance. So I got all my students, past and present, to come together with their sackbuts and raise the money, which we did. And we called it a frenzy, and we've kept the frenzy going ever since. And we have a CD from a previous incarnation of my students at the back, which is really exciting and beautiful, if I say so myself. And today we've got students from the Guildhall School of Music and Drama and the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama. Our next piece is William Cornish, who's a great favourite of mine. He was in the court of Henry VIII. The programme today features the 16th century, where the Franco-Flemish was influencing English music, and also contrasting that with the 17th century Italian powerhouse that came mainly from Venice. So Cornish is part of the 16th century, and he was one of the chapel musicians who accompanied Henry VIII when he went to France for the Field of Cloth of Gold. And it's a beautiful piece of 4-part vocal music. So the Cornish you just heard was external public music for the chapel to be heard by everyone. Around the same time, the next piece was composed anonymously in a private collection for the internal world of the aristocratic ladies, probably of the French or German court. And it was collected and given as a gift to Anne Boleyn. We can't be exact about the date, but it's probably collected around 1506 to 1513, because it was given to her and inscribed with her name in the middle for a Mistress Anne Boleyn, now thus being the family motto of her father. She didn't yet know, wasn't yet connected to King Henry VIII. She certainly wasn't married. She wouldn't have been referred to as mistress if she had been. We know that she was a great fan of music and lover of quality arts. And it's really wonderful that she took this collection and kept it in the English court, so it was saved with the ravages of the revolution that destroyed so much music in the French court. So it's a wonderful example of what was happening across Europe at the time. Something I find especially interesting about this collection is I was lucky enough to buy one of the limited edition of the facsimile, which I've brought here on display. You're welcome to come and have a look. It's open on the page of the piece we're doing, Forte si dulcis. And as early musicians, we often wonder, should we play raised leading notes or not? So da 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 instead of da 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 da. We have great discussions about this. And there are many a can of worms that can be opened. But what I like is that you see there's pencil markings in the original, and they have analyzed it. It is 16th century English pencil, and the music is composed in France. So we know that the English musicians of the time were asking the same questions that we are today. It doesn't give us the answers, but it's nice, comforting to think we're all asking the same thing. So if you want to come and examine the pencil markings, this is a really beautiful display, and it can also be seen digitally now. This is Forte si dulcis, interesting text combining Greek myth and Christianity. we now wheel forward 100 years to Venice and to Monteverdi. This is a small chunk from his Magnificat A6, which we think works really wonderfully on sackbuts. It's originally for soprano voices chasing each other while the tenor voices declaim the text. For anyone who is not used to seeing sackbuts, we'll just take a moment to introduce them. They are, in essence, trombones. In Italian, trombone was the name used. In German, Posaune, which is what it's called today. In England, one of the names for it was sackbut. It's also shagbolt and all sorts of other extremely dignified names. So I think, considering the options, sackbut is about the most refined option we could go for. It was coined in the 60s, in the revival of early music, as a way of differentiating this trombone from the modern orchestral one. So let's introduce, do we have the alto? No. Well, while she's finding the alto, here's the tenor. Stephen has the tenor, and it's got an angel angel in the middle of it, and little dragon scales around the top. And it works very much like a modern trombone, but is more soft and variable in its vowel sounds, which is why it sounds more like a human voice. You don't have to work so hard. We have the bass here. Adam has the bass, which the slide is so long that even the very tallest person can't reach. So the handle is part of it. You want to show us going right at 7th position. Look at that. And we have the alto here, which is very dinky in comparison. So it was a time in which instruments came in families. And this is the trombone family. So this is the Misericordia and Deposuit from the Magnificat A6 by Monteverdi. And his mercy from generation to generation is on them that fear him. Deposuit, and he shall cast the mighty down from their seats and raise up the lowly. And what of Spain, you might say, amongst all this? Well, actually, Ortiz was Spanish, but he was influenced by Italy, and he was working in Italy and publishing in Rome when he published these Ricicare, which we're now going to perform. Ricicare means to seek out, so it's like seeking many, many ways of saying the same thing. We are decorating a version of the tune very well known at the time called La Spagna. And first it is decorated by recorder, and the tune, La Spagna, played by viola. Second time, bass trombone is doing La Spagna, and the tenor, Jamie, is doing the decorated version. Trying to hide how proud I am of them when I hear them play like that. It's really nice for me to get a chance to perform alongside my students. Thank you for coming along and witnessing it. The next piece is by Eric Vleumans, who's a well-known jazz trumpet player from the Netherlands. And he's written a requiem which he wrote it for Holland Baroque. So he's using jazz harmony and Baroque harmony together, and he's quite intrigued. He's looking forward to the recording of this because he's never imagined it with viola recorder and lots of sackbuts. So we hope he enjoys this. Last year in May, the Guildhall part of Sackbut Frenzy were given the opportunity to travel to Versailles and perform in the palace, the chapel in the palace. And we were recreating the music that we know was performed at the Field of Cloth of Gold events in 1520. And we were also reenacting the friendship that was formed in 1520 between the professional musicians from the English court and the French court. And we all have the phone numbers of the French musicians that we were collaborating with. And we had a lot of time to enjoy each other's company out there. We commissioned a new work to go alongside the original repertoire from Justine Rapaccioli. And she set a text, Da Pacem, asking for peace in the world. In it, you can hear the aggression in the lower sackbuts, in her mind representing the two leaders, the two kings at the time, Francois and Henry VIII, who wanted power and dominance. And then the alto line is the voice of hope, of peace. And throughout the work, you hear how the dominant aggressors don't want peace to win. But in the end, it does. We return now to Venice and to Monteverdi, but this time in his secular role. He's writing madrigals, and he is setting a text about declaiming to the world, "Alas, where is my beloved gone?" But as the verses roll on, you realize that perhaps the singer's distraction with the ambition of life is maybe why he's lost the company of his beloved. It's a lovely example of quite how yearning and desolate the sackbut can sound. So this is for two sopranos and continuo, and in this instance played on three tenors by Helena, James, and Jamie. Gabrieli next, possibly the most well-known of these Venetian composers. He was composing for instrumentalists to be up in the galleries in San Marco in Venice and to play their canzons and their sonatas in parts of the Mass when the liturgy was not happening. So you can imagine yourself in the heart of San Marco in candlelight, and then from up above, here comes the sound of this canzona. And we know from their payment books and their accounts that violas, recorders, and trombones were making music together up in these galleries, and the trombones were being paid a lot more. We've come to our last piece, and we'd like to thank Rhiannon for inviting us to the St. Margaret's concert series. It's been absolutely lovely playing here. And I'd like to thank the commitment and dedication from all the students behind me who have given up their Sunday for us. We are finishing with going back into the Franco-Flemish repertoire of the 16th century, a beautiful, quiet song about a white swan. And Helena is going to read us the text, and then we will leave you with the softness and the gentleness of the swan.
The white and sweet swan dies singing, and I, weeping, reach the end of my life. Strange and different fate, that he dies disconsolate, and I die a blessed death, which in dying fills me full of joy and desire. If in dying were I to feel no other pain, I would be content to die 1,000 deaths a day.
Stop clapping when I come on. How rude. Well, I'm going to invite you to give thank you. Oh, that's embarrassing. We've overrun slightly, which is entirely Brutus Green's fault, because he went away for the evening and left Sarah and I in charge of the streaming system, which is witchcraft, I tell you, witchcraft. I am so grateful to Emily and the rest of the crew, the Sackbut Frenzy. Will I ever be able to say that with a straight face? Sending emails from the church account saying, Sackbut Frenzy at church this evening has been one of the greatest pleasures of my career to date. Say thank you for that. That truly was transcendental and possibly once in a lifetime experience. You, young human, are my favourite person in the world, and this is why I do my job, because Simon Rattle might retire at any point and the LSO will need a new conductor, and I think you're going to be a conductor, aren't you? Can we say lady music directors, or, you know, non-binary or whatever, you know, we end up being wonderful. What was your name? What was her name? Clara, you're brilliant. Do you like sackbuts? Did you like the music? Not so sure. Well, there we go. 3 stars from Clara. There we go. It was really nice to have you. Evening prayer is about to start imminently, so if you would like to join us at evening prayer, you can come over here. if you would like to join us for another glass of wine, dash to the back, fill up your glass as soon as you can. Literally, you've got 2 minutes, otherwise I'm going to come and taser you with a cattle prong. And come through to the beautiful Worth Parish Centre, courtesy of Jonathan, wherever he is, come and enjoy that there. Please don't forget to make donations. There's a machine there. There's also one by the door, and I take cash. Honestly, you can shove it in any pocket you like. But finally, can we have another huge round of applause for our wonderful, wonderful musicians? You can have a last bow, and then you need to go very quickly. I wasn't joking. You've got 2 minutes to get out. You've got 3 options. Leave. Go to the parish centre, where you might even be able to pet a sackbut if you ask very nicely. Or I invite you to come and join us for evening prayer, which will be up in the choir stalls. So you're very welcome to do any of those 3 things. If you're leaving, please make a donation as you are able. Fire exits are here, here, but there are none to the rear. Toilets are through here. There's also one that way, but mainly this way. You can go if you want. I only joked about the tasering.